Hi guys, so for this video I'll be looking at the CSEC 2023 paper 2 geography exam. Stay tuned.
I see the comments and requests and I will act on them. Please remember to follow Geography World channel on Instagram and Facebook using the link shown on the screen. Please remember to like, share with your friends and subscribe. For person wishing to contact me privately, you may email me at geographyworld100@gmail.com. The link will be posted below.
Hi guys, so today we're looking at question number 2 on the 2023 CSEC paper, and we're given a blank map of the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean, of the North Atlantic Ocean, and we're to answer the question that follows. So this is the map that you're given and we're to answer the question that follows. So the first thing is that on the map above, what you're going to do, you have four things that you're going to do to the map. One, you're going to insert two shaded isobars around H to indicate that it's a high pressure system, and that's 2 marks. You're going to draw the weather symbol for a cold front over the northern region of the Caribbean, that's 1 mark. You're going to use an arrow to draw the typical path of a hurricane in the Caribbean region as it moves across the Atlantic Ocean, and you are going to shade the region where tropical waves usually form. So on this blank map, you have four things that you need to do. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how or what is expected for the map and go through exactly what is needed. So this is what is expected on the map. So let me go through with you. So the part one that says you're to insert two labeled isobar around H. So H is right here. Now remember that isobars, they join region of similar atmospheric pressure. So here I went ahead and I created two circular isobars. Now your isobar should indicate that there is a high pressure system. Now remember that the H in the middle represent high pressure system, and whenever there's a high pressure system, the atmospheric pressure should be high, not decreasing. So inward, the atmospheric pressure should be increasing. So I have 1016, 1022, which means that in here it would be 1024 because I'm going up by 4. So right along this area, once you were able to do this, that's 2 marks. Now look for the weather. We put the weather symbol for a cold front over the northern region of the Caribbean. Now this part is the Caribbean, right? This is the Caribbean Sea along this section. Now this is the symbol for a cold front, so I went ahead and I extended it all the way over the northern section of the Caribbean, because this is where cold fronts usually originate. The cold air from North America mixed with the warm air from the Caribbean create cold fronts along this region. Once you're able to do that, that's 1 mark. Part 3, you're to draw the typical path the hurricane takes in the Caribbean as it moves across the Atlantic Ocean. So we know that hurricanes, the tropical disturbances, they originate off the coast of West Africa along this area, and they typically take a western direction, heading into the Caribbean. Once they get into the Caribbean, sometimes they take a north or a northwesterly path to basically affect places in the Caribbean. But once your arrow is coming from off the coast of West Africa and heading into the Caribbean, then 1 marks belong to you, and you're to shade the area where tropical waves usually form. Tropical waves, it's a part of It's one of the steps that is necessary before a tropical storm, then a hurricane develops. And we know that the tropical disturbance and waves, they develop off the west coast of Africa. So hence the green shading here. Once you were able to do this, all of 5 marks would have been. Part 2 to the question shows that a hurricane warning is issued to the public by the Meteorological Office. You're to state 2 reasons why a hurricane warning is normally issued. Now, a hurricane warning is a higher level of warning that hurricane conditions are expected in 24 hours or less. So, hurricane warnings are issued to 1. Inform the public of the expected shift in the weather pattern as the hurricane approaches, and 2. To encourage population to start taking precautionary measures such as boarding up the windows and turning off gases, water, and electricity. So, warnings are there to basically tell us about a shift in the weather pattern as well as to tell us to take precautionary measures. Once you're able to identify any 2 reasons, 2 marks belongs to you. Part 2 asks that we briefly describe 2 weather conditions associated with the passage of a hurricane at each of the following stages. So, with a hurricane, before the hurricane, they are usually experienced like calm weather conditions such as clear skies, high humidity, and high temperatures. However, during the hurricane, the weather condition changes significantly where we have very strong winds and breeze. We have heavy and torrential rainfall. We have completely overcast skies. Now, after the hurricane, the area experienced things like little to no cloud cover. There is a rise in the temperature. You have light wind and you have drizzling taking place. Once you're able to list 2 conditions for before, during, and after, then 6 marks belong to you. Part C to the question gives us a diagram or a drawing of an tropical island. We're to study the drawing and answer the question. So what we're to do is to explain how 2 of the following factors might influence the weather and climate of the tropical island. So this is a tropical island. How do we think altitude, latitude, and the distance from sea basically influence weather and climate on the island? Now, altitude is the same as the height above sea level. Now, temperatures normally decrease as elevation or height increases, making location at higher elevations colder. The higher the altitude, the colder the climate becomes. This is because the air at high altitude is less dense and contains less moisture, which makes it more difficult to retain heat. As a result, high altitude regions tend to have cooler temperatures with lower humidity. So the higher up you go, the cooler it gets. The lower you are, the warmer it is. Latitude, or the distance from the equator. So we know that as latitude increases, the average temperature cools. As latitude decreases, the average temperature decreases. This can be understood through our planet's 3 climatic zones. So the tropics, the temperate, and the polar region. The further away from the equator one moves, the colder it gets. The closer you are to the equator, the warmer it is. So that is it for latitude. The further away you go, the colder it gets, and the closer you are to the equator, the warmer it is. Distance from the sea. The sea affects the climate of a place. Coastal areas are cooler and wetter than inland areas. Cold clouds form when warm air from inland areas meet cool air from the sea. The center of the continents are subjected to large ranges of temperature. So in summer, temperatures can be very hot and dry as moisture from the sea evaporates before it reaches the center of the landmass. So for this island, once the breeze leaves from over the ocean, it starts to lose that moisture. So location closer to the coast will have a more moist and a more cool climate or weather condition, while places further inland will be drier as a lot of dry breeze or wind will reach those areas. Once you were able to explain any 2, then 4 marks belong to you. If the content that I'm sharing with you currently is assisting you with preparing for your exams or for classes, hey, come on, please leave a like below, leave a comment, and remember to subscribe and share with your friends. Part D asks that disaster results from Category 5 hurricane in the Caribbean affect several areas of development. We're to explain just one possible long-term effects of such disaster on each of the following areas of development in the Caribbean. So let's talk about infrastructure and what are some of the possible long-term effects of Category 5 hurricanes on the aspect of countries. For example, let's talk about infrastructure 1. So the destruction of critical infrastructure such as roads and bridges can basically disrupt essential services, transportation systems, and communication, which will basically lead to a prolonged recovery period. Once these infrastructures are damaged, what it does, it basically hinders the movement of goods, services, and people, which basically hinders the economy in a sense, right? With economy, the economy of a country can suffer significantly after the passage of a mighty hurricane. Power outages and transportation disruptions can hinder business ability to receive and ship products. These factors can lead to production and delivery delays, causing lost revenues and damaging a company's reputation. The country may use its revenues to restore its country after the hurricane delays economic progress by many, many years. Remember that each country, they budget on a yearly basis of what to do. Some countries, they face disasters, in this case a hurricane, and they have to rebuild their country. That can significantly delay their economy by many, many years. Let's talk about the environmental factor. Now, storm-related flooding, loss of power, and property damage can lead to the release of toxic chemicals in the environment. These chemicals then contaminate surface water, groundwater, and flows into local waterways, resulting in threat to water supply as well as fishes and wildlife. Hurricanes generate strong winds that can completely defoil forest canopies and cause dramatic structural changes in wooded economies or wooded ecosystems. Animals can either be killed by hurricanes or impacted indirectly through changes in habitat and food availability caused by high wind, storm surges, and instant rainfall. So the environment is significantly affected by hurricanes, where it not only affects the animals, but it also affects the surface of the earth, the different geological features that we have. Let's move on down to social. Now, social, the devastating effect of a hurricane can affect the social well-being of the area. Socially, thousands can be left homeless after a hurricane. Due to contaminated water, several viruses and diseases may have an outbreak affecting much of the population. Due to effects of the hurricane and loss of loved ones and valuable properties, several people may experience post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety. Food and water shortages may also affect the population. Now, once you were able to explain for each, 8 marks belong to you. And once you're able to answer all the questions correctly, a total of 25 marks belong to you.
We are at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your post notification bell in order to receive more videos like these. Leave comments below suggesting topics that you would want me to present on. In the comment section below, comment the name of your school and the territory for a shout out in my next video. Until then, bye.